Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Monday, August 12th, 2024. Let's take a look at the big picture, although I don't think we glean a lot yet from this. I think what is worth noting is that while we opened below this one-year channel top that we settled above about 6 weeks ago, we did not close the week, below it. But you can see by, what's played out the last 3 or 4 weeks that it's very difficult to interpret anything here as bullish just yet. I think we need time and some upward gains, some upward continuation, even over the next couple of days would help in terms of indicating the 220s, 230s in the coming week or two. And I will get to that in a moment. But, if we continue placing weekly settlements above the 197.70 descending channel top, as we have since we closed above it about 6 weeks ago, the 329.75 area remains our next long-term resistance. But to call it an objective right now is a bit of a stretch. I will get to that in a moment as well in terms of when we will clearly see 329.75 as a clear longer-term objective. And inversely, if we close below, the 197.70 formation at the end of this week, that would skew south to 129.92 over the next several months. But even that, I'm going to sort of fine-tune this with the daily chart. I mean, you could see on the daily chart that this area, this 197.66, 200.61 area, this former descending channel top that I just showed you on the daily chart, this rising two-thirds speed line on the daily chart, we've traded both sides of them quite a bit over the last week without any directional consequences on a protracted basis. So we're still sort of muddled here. But what is not muddled and what has quietly emerged, and this was, I'm going to zoom to another chart here, on Friday, we did close above a descending one-third speed line that actually held Wednesday and Thursday. So Friday, we closed above the speed line that is now 194.18. I'm going to go with this as a sign of strength. I'm going to go with this 194.18 as a support level that may well contain selling for the week itself, and above which this narrowing zone of resistance between 228 even and 232.43 should be considered a 1 to 2 week target. With present volatility, 2 to 3 weeks. But volatility can spike, and I'm throwing 203.87 there as a meaningful upside threshold to settle above to really underscore the buy signal that did occur on Friday's close above the descending one-third speed line. Speed lines are trend defining by one measure, and having closed above the descending one-third speed line of 194.18, the descending two-third speed line at 232.53, I'm going to just call it a 2 to 3 week target. And if we close today above 203.87, quite possibly by the end of next week. 203.87 is the high of the low. And we retraced up to it last Wednesday. That was the Monday low a week ago today. And closing above that high of the low. There's a gap there as well. But just closing above 203.87, I think, is enough to nudge this more aggressively into the bullish column. I skew bullish anyway over the next 1 to 3 weeks above 194.18. If you did not go long on Friday's close above the 194.18 speed line, you may wait for a settlement above 203.87, because I think if that were to occur, you basically then have a kind of a double buy signal in the scope of a couple of days that once again should yield this changing narrowing zone of meaningful resistance between 228 even and 232.53. On the way up, we do have 211.05. Do I show that anywhere? I do not. There's only so much room in this newsletter, but I can tell you right now that 211.05 is nothing more than a descending channel top coming down, and that can certainly contain daily buying pressure. So the way I would phrase this is, if we close today above 203.87, we have a 1 to 2 day target at 211.05, which can contain daily buying pressures on the way up into the 220s. Closing then above 211.05, we're probably just 3 to 5 days away from reaching our objective. So the big picture, 194.18, able to contain selling for the week itself, and above which 232.53 descending two-thirds speed line remains a 1 to 3 week target. Upside today, 203.87 may well contain daily buying pressures, but on the heels of Friday's buy signal above 194.18, I ask that you be, careful. What I mean by that is I don't have a problem you selling 203.87, but just know that I consider a violation of it to be impending over the next day, 2 or 3, and it could easily happen today. And if so, this market could run to 211.05 on an intraday basis. So keep that in mind. That is actually a decent day trade, I think. Pushing or opening above 203.87 is a go long up to 211.05 where profits can be taken. If we close above 211.05, 3 to 5 day swing traders can go and stay long into this 228, even the 232.53 area, which remains a 1 to 3 week target anyway, above 194.18. Downside, I am adding 191.76. So this is sort of the obvious downward pivot point through the rest of the week. As I said earlier, bullish above 194.18, secondarily so above 203.87. But we do reverse and turn bearish below 191.76. That should result in follow-through selling. And if we do close today below this 191.76 to 194.18 area, represented here by horizontal lines, I see this by the end of next week, 167.41, and over the next couple of months, in late September into mid-October, something like that, the 129.95 long-term channel bottom would be considered a realistic 1 to 2 month target, closing below 191.76. And I think that you could play this. If we were to close below 191.76, you may consider reaching for 130 strike out of the money puts that don't expire. I would go probably about 4 to 6 months out on that expiration. But we're not there, and where we are is actually bullish near term only. I'm not ready to say that we are bullish long term anymore above this structure. We just got beat up last week, trading both sides of it throughout the week on a day-by-day basis. We did eke out a weekly settlement above it, but really I want to see upward continuation. Before I'm anticipating 329.75, I will tell you that would come with a settlement above 232.53. This speed line would pivot the market into the 320s, I think, within several months. There will be a new channel top rising that'll be in the upper 200 area, 290s, 300 area, and that will be an issue. That will be a kind of a 3 to 5 week target. But I don't see a reason to be sort of swinging for the fences longer term to the upside through the rest of the year until we can clear 232.53. 232.53 is a 1 to 3 week target now. Let's call it a 2 to 3 week target. And if we can close today above 203.87 by the end of next week. I think I've said it all. I'm going to leave it at that for Monday's Daily Tesla Report. Please click like, share, subscribe. We're going to have 2 stock picks this week. We had 2 last week, Microsoft, DoorDash, and you can see it all. Triple Q analysis, SPY analysis. Do I have the Triple Q weekly chart here to show you? I do not. But we hit long-term resistance in the Triple Q, the NASDAQ 100 in early July, and we fell to long-term support last week and came off of it nicely. I'm going to leave it at that for Monday's Tesla Report. You have a great day.